Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to Love Yourself Fiercely. On today's episode, it's a solo episode. We haven't had one in a while. On today's episode, we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about shooting the shit out of our life. This was a pattern of mine, oh my gosh, probably all my life. As I really reflect back on who I've become and where I'm going and the work that I do with my clients, the fundamental is really just allowing ourselves to create a life that we enjoy. And so many of us spend day in and day out doing what we think we should. We think we should, you know, go to this job that doesn't bring us joy. We think we should exercise so that our body is up to society standards. We think we should sacrifice self care for time with our family. We think we should always have, always be available to our partners and our children. We think you we should the shit all over our life. We should clean, we should organize, we should be more of this, we should be more of that, we should do less of this, we should do less of that. We should the shit out of our life. And what ends up happening for most of us is that we're dissatisfied, we're unfulfilled, we're resentful, we're exhausted, we're we're just not in alignment in most areas of our life. I know for me, I had no idea what alignment felt like forever, because I had never really done anything for myself. I had really just been this version of a person that did everything that she thought she was supposed to and, showed up for the people that she loved in the way that she was supposed to. And I didn't even, I didn't even understand what being in alignment felt like. And for those of you who are like, alignment, ugh, I hear that all the time. I want to explain to you what that means because it really is just coming at life from a place that feels good, from spending your time doing things that fill your energy, not deplete it. And it's unrealistic to believe that we can be in true alignment 100% of the time. It's unrealistic. We have parts of our life and things in our life that we have to do that don't bring us joy, but we do them. I immediately think of cooking and cleaning. I don't love those things. I don't love constantly doing laundry. I don't love thinking about food. It's not my favorite thing. It's never going to make me feel aligned, but I have to do them if they matter to me, and food is yummy and we need to eat, and a clean house brings me joy and a clutter-free mind. And so I do the things. And so I think it's important to highlight you can't be in alignment 100% of the time. Maybe you're like, I actually hate my job, or I'm not happy in my business, but at this stage, I don't know what my pivot would be. It's unrealistic financially to make a move right now. And so I'm unfulfilled there. Okay, for now, then find ways to be in alignment and do things with your time that fill your energy. And that really for me was that's how I understood alignment. I couldn't understand what that meant or how I was out of it or what it felt to be in it. I just knew I was unfulfilled and unhappy and showing up in the world as someone other than myself. And so I started to develop new hobbies and spend my time doing things from a hell yes place. And I adapted this belief that if it wasn't a hell yes, it was a hell no. And that looked like, you know, do I want to do this 75-minute workout today? If it was not a hell yes, it was a hell no. And that didn't mean I didn't exercise. I just chose to do forms of exercise, forms of movement that really I enjoyed. Dance, yoga. I love kickboxing. I love hiking. I love swimming. And so I would not put myself in a position where I should follow this fitness plan. And I turned it around and said, how can I create space to move my body and to honor my body and to love my body in a way that brings me joy, in a way that I enjoy. Because when we're forcing ourselves to do shit all day long, every day, you're not energized. You're not in desire. In fact, so many of us aren't even sure what brings us joy in our life. And that is not cool. That's not living. That's really not living. And, we have to really trust that we were put here to have joy. We were put on this earth. We are living this life with the people that we love for joy and happiness. And if we're not finding ways to create space for those things in our life, then we need to reevaluate what is happening, because you deserve to be energized. You deserve to feel joyful. You deserve to feel at peace in your world. You deserve a desire-filled life, a joy-filled life. And I want that for you. And I desire that for you, because things shift all over the place. Everything changes when you start to give a crap about yourself and what matters to you and what you want for your life. So, how can we do this? How can we figure out what alignment feels like? How can we figure out what we even enjoy? Or how can we create space to be more fulfilled in our world? And this is really honestly not as hard as and overwhelming as it sounds. So, like my exercise example, if I was already carving out that amount of time in my schedule to move my body, then I just had to ask myself what feels like a good way to move my body today. Or, when we talk about all the things we should do, instead of spending time with people that I don't walk away feeling better because they invited us out for dinner. I don't do that anymore. If I have space in my calendar to see people, I see people and spend time with people who I really love and enjoy. And that doesn't make me a bad person. And that doesn't make you a bad person. It means that we desire fulfillment in our life. And you have every right to do that. This can look like, instead of committing to volunteering at your kid's school, which you loathe, it can now be, I will choose instead to participate in a different way, to show my support for my kid's school in a different way. This can look like, if you hate sitting and waiting for your kid to be done their extracurriculars, it's okay if you don't like that. Then you can create space to do something else. You can read a book you enjoy while you have to wait there. You can take turns with your partner. That's what we do in our house. Every other week is the hustle and bustle of gymnastics. And it works for us. Nobody is overly stressed. Everybody gets space. And most importantly, this really looks like carving out time for yourself in your own way. And I think it was Rachel Hollis, when she first got really big, said, if you don't have an hour for yourself, you really don't have a life. And there are going to be seasons where that doesn't feel realistic, but it is very true that if you can't find half an hour to an hour of solitude in your world, then you need to reevaluate where you're overcommitting. You need to reevaluate the things that you're doing that are not in alignment with desire or joy. If you're overcommitting, my guess is you're doing it because you're seeking external validation. You want the world to know that you are great. But do you feel great? Do you feel great in your life? Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel joyful? Are you, filled with energy? Are you creating space for the things that you love, or finding out the things that you love? Or are you filling your calendar as an avoidance tactic to sit with yourself because there's underlying things you're not ready to face? Are you filling your calendar so that the world says you're really great? Ask yourself these hard questions. They really matter. When we get quiet and we start to ask ourselves these questions, We start to really understand the depth of who we are and where, you know, societal conditioning and inner child work is still really present in our world. And then we can start to really hear and see what is happening. If you're fulfilled, girl, keep doing it. If you're so filled with joy, keep going. And if you ask yourself these questions and you're like, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know what I like anymore. I don't remember the last time I gave myself space. I don't remember the last time I didn't fill my calendar. I don't remember the last time I was in true connection with myself or another person. I get that. I was there for a really long time. And so give yourself grace and compassion and start to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want to do literally nothing for an entire day? That can be okay. Do you want to go for a hike by yourself? That's totally okay. Do you want to take up a new hobby? Do you want to try a dance class? Do you want to try pole dancing? What do you want to do? What excites you? What do you see other people in the online space doing that you're, God, I wish I could do that. I wish there was time in my world for that. Those are your indicators on where you're lacking in desire and lacking in joy. And you're a big girl. You get to decide again, right? You're an adult. You get to choose again for your life. So this is not a life sentence of unfulfillment and lack of desire. Just as you create space for your family to live a joyful, peaceful life, and I know that you do because they come first, you can also do that for you, right? We have this belief that our kids' well-being is first. And I mean, they need us to stay alive. So in some aspect, that's true. But we tend to do this with all the people in our world. What do they need? What do they want? How can I help fulfill their world? How can I create joyful experiences in their world? All I ask is that you're doing the same for you because you deserve that as well. So as we wrap up this short and sweet episode, I want to give you a few tips. First, you have to sit with yourself and ask those questions. Ask yourself, where am I not creating space for me? Where do I feel unfulfilled in my life? And where do I feel joy and fulfillment? What areas of my life can I identify with both? What would I want to do with my time if I had a full weekend alone to myself? How would I desire to spend my days? If you're feeling tired and lacking energy, I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time I felt super energized and what was I doing? What was different than right now? And then start to create this new belief that joy is created for you. That you get to choose a joy-filled life. You get to choose fulfillment at every turn. You get to choose passion. And you get to make space for that in your world, because when you are energized and fulfilled and joyful and excited and in alignment with the woman that you desire to be, then you just ooze that and pour it over to the people that you love. This is a win-win situation, because what we're taught to do is give it all away, and then we're depleted and empty. And then we're taught that we should get fulfillment and joy from creating fulfillment and joy from other people. It doesn't make any sense. You deserve joy, fulfillment, and passion in your life, just as everybody else does as well. So I want you to create space today to ask yourself those questions, to get really clear with yourself where you desire more fulfillment and desire more joy, and how you can start to create time in your days to make that a reality. I hope you have a beautiful day. If you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tag a bestie below who would benefit from this message. If you're listening on the podcast, please take a minute to rate and review the show so that other incredible women like yourself can find us. And as always, if this episode resonates with you, take a screenshot, share it to Instagram, and don't forget to tag me at the Femme Rebellion to tell me your greatest takeaway. I hope you love yourself fiercely and fully today and every day. I'll see you on the next episode.